Are you sheltering in place, isolated, feeling alone? Well, then you're just like us.
Hit me.
From Studio P in Sausalito, the home of the quarantined hit, it's time for... Succotash Shut-In, the Soundcast Stimulus Package featuring snippets from Comedy
Soundcasts.
And now, here's your host for this episode, Tyson Saner.
Insaner.
Saluton, Estas me, Tyson Saner. I am your every-other-epi host for this iteration of Succotash, the Comedy Soundcast Soundcast, currently called Succotash Shut-In, as you probably know by now because you clicked on us. And we thank you for it. Next week, Marc Hershon will be doing the hosting duties, but this week is mine, and welcome to it. I've got clips for you from a handful of soundcasts you may want to listen to more of in the future. That's how this works. I've got clips from Profiles in Eccentricity, Strange Times, and Nooner Podcast. This show is fake sponsored by Henderson's Pants and TrumPoetry.com. And away we go. First up, Profiles in Eccentricity, from John Fahy, Pita, and Matt Brousseau, and Starburns Audio. It's a show about weirdos. Hosted by comedians John Fahy, Pita, and Matt Brousseau, each episode tells a tale about someone who lives afoul of the rules most of us live by. What I've chosen for you is from the show from April 15th, 2020. It's a profile on Franz Kafka, and it's called Franz Kafka, Neurotic Maniac. Its description reads, This week, Matt treats the boys to the life of the famously strange author of The Metamorphosis, Franz Kafka. Despondent in relationships and acutely tormented by his father, Kafka is an overly neurotic figure awaiting judgment.
Now, tell me, Kafka was a German fella?
Well, he was born in Prague. I want to say, before we get into this, his life itself, we're going to talk about his life. We'll go through his whole life, mention his works, and then after that, we'll kind of I'll give you a deeper dive, other than the basic outline of the story, kind of themes and maybe some of the ideas behind it. Okay. But first, I want to give you his life.
Give me his life.
So Franz Kafka, he has, in the minds of people today, Kafka-esque is a phrase. And usually it's something that is bewildering or frightening to people. But for me, I always found him funny. And
a lot of absurdity.
Yeah. And
always, when I heard that phrase, I always took it as almost Cronenberg-esque.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the modern
the shocking
equivalent.
Nature of it was almost
hilarious.
Absurd. Yeah, absurd.
Exactly, yeah. The illogic that is built in that everyone treats as logic.
Right.
So he was born in 1883 in Prague, Bohemia, Habsburg Empire. So he was born in the city of Prague, in Bohemia.
Which at the time was Bohemia. Which is at the time
the Habsburg Empire.
Right.
And he was born a Czech-German speaker who was also Jewish.
Ah.
Boy.
So his nationality, in essence, was Czech, but he was a mainly German speaker, because the Yiddish that they were speaking, that also had a connection to German. So it was a natural in, but he was also Jewish. And these are three parts of himself that he never necessarily came to terms with. But we'll get into that. We'll touch on that.
Those identity points, you mean?
Yeah. His identity was something that constantly was flirting around him.
Transforming into something else.
Yes. So he was born in Josefov. Josefov, yeah. Josefof. It was one of the oldest ghettos in Europe. Seven centuries of Jewish visionaries lived and died there. He called it my prison cell, my fortress.
Oh, boy.
He had many conflicting feelings about so much in his life. He was born the eldest child of Hermann and Julia Kafka. They would later have 3 girls who lived and 2 boys who died in infancy. His father was a huge man, especially for that time. He was 6'2", big shoulders, powerful, loud, self-made. he would sit at the dinner table and he would chew the bones of the food.
Ugh.
And he would yell at anybody else who did it.
I chew the bones of this table.
Yeah.
What are you, some kind of savage?
You trying to cuff me in my own dinner table? Oi, Kavolt.
So Herman, Franz's father, he was born in extreme poverty in this Bohemian village called Osek, and his father was a ritual butcher, so he'd kill the animals for rituals. And by age 7, Herman was pushing a peddler's cart. I don't know if he was apprenticing or assisting, but he was working. He was not schooled. And he later married Julie, and he got a small amount of money, and that was enough to start his own shop as a salesman. And he was kind of a bastard as an owner. There's a story about him having to go to, after one afternoon, having to then go to each employee's house of residence and ask them not to quit because they had all quit en masse because he was such an asshole.
Herman,
yes.
Yeah.
To his children, he was sarcastic and harsh. My two main sources for this are the R. Crumb, David Zane Merowitz book, Kafka, and it has R. Crumb's fantastic...
that's excellent.
No shit.
Disgusting, weird
That's a
drawings.
perfect artist to do a
it
Kafka
absolutely
book.
is.
Yeah.
So
he can go very serious where necessary.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's only one set of tits in this.
Oh. Any
But they're exquisite.
big-ass ladies with huge pubes coming out of their bottoms?
That was more of a R. Crumb personal choice.
Yeah. Well, you would always inject a little bit of your own
DNA.
sensibilities.
You can email them at profilesineccentricity@gmail.com, and you can listen to them on Stitcher and Apple Podcasts, and they even have a YouTube presence. Just search Profiles in Eccentricity. Next up, Strange Times from Davian Dent, Kat Sorens, and Dom Risk. Longtime listeners of Succotash will know that we have clipped Strange Times quite a few times, and in fact we have also had Davian Dent as a guest at least twice. I've chosen a clip for you from the May 9th show, 2020, entitled Invisible Jizz. His description says, "This week our wayward sons turn their third eye to cyclists, furlough life, Carol Baskin, coronavirus lockdown competitiveness, and sex music." This clip, however, features talk about VE Day.
What's VE Day?
VE Day, to pronounce it correctly, Victory in Europe Day.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. Funnily enough, it's an annual thing, so it happens at the same time every year. I can understand when it first kicked off. Not a bad idea. Fine, have a little bit for celebration. I personally find it a little bit distasteful now because it's kind of like, yeah, we beat the Germans, fucking cunt, Tommy. And yes, let's maybe have the public holiday, spend some time reflecting on the day when, not all of the hostilities ended, but the vast majority. Let's celebrate that all that shit ended. Let's celebrate peace in Europe, or the start of peace in Europe. Brilliant. But all of this bloody British bulldog, we beat the Bosch. Is it really necessary? Or am I just being too fucking lefty?
No, well, I understand why it would have been a big thing, 70 years ago or whatever. But
I was 20 then.
Little bastard. Oh, fuck. Yeah, so we had the same thing here with Anzac Day. It's sort of, which is April the 25th, which is the day that the English commanders told a bunch of Australians to land on the wrong beach where where machine guns, and that didn't work out very well. So it sort of turned into this, I don't know, almost celebration as well. It's sort of very somber in some parts, but then it's just been sort of grabbed hold of the Tommy Robinson dickheads. To make it sort of, I don't know, if you aren't patriotic enough or you can't speak, don't say anything about it that we don't like, or we'll all launch at you, and all the Murdoch media just backs that sort of narrative up, and it's just fucking, I don't know, pretty horrible, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's like you say, it should be a celebration. It should be a celebrating peace. It shouldn't be celebrating the end of a war, win or lose. I did read something about apparently for the first time this year they've done some sort of, not celebrations, but acknowledgements in Berlin because it's for them it's the end of a fascist, not fascist, but Nazis were in charge, and it ended for them. Yeah. They sort of got back to normal, apart from when the communists sort of took over. So for them, it is liberation for them as well. It wasn't just a fact that because the people, the general population, were under this fucking dictatorship as it was. And people forget that. They just assume all Germans were Nazis and all Italians were, et cetera, et cetera. Well, so I do agree. After a certain length of time, it is kind of, it's fine to remember the people who died, with the poppies and Remembrance Sunday and whatnot, But even then, you get to the point where I think there's 2 people left who fought in the First World War who are still alive. Yeah, that's run its course now. So now we should move on to.
Well, yeah.
One of them being David,
I wouldn't say move on. I mean, as the great poem said, they shall not grow old as we the left grow old. They shall not with them, nor these and them. We will remember them, and I think we should, but we shouldn't celebrate the victory, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, because...
Just remember and respect the shit that was done, but not get all fucking
nationalistic
and red alpha male about the fact that we beat someone.
Yeah, when it was none of them that did anything.
Well,
yeah.
There should definitely be remembrance, but it should be remembrance for everything, because people, if you died in the First World War, it doesn't make you a better soldier than if you died in Afghanistan or if you died in the Second World War or the Falklands or, fucking Iraq. They're all soldiers and they all died. So they all should be remembered equally.
Yep.
I just feel it's a bit too much is put onto certain. I know it's an old. The Royal British Legion started to remember and to look after the veterans of the Great War and the Second World War, but now really so many other people who have been in other situations and other wars and whatever, they should be remembered as equally as well, and it shouldn't just be specifically remember Captain Tom's generation. It should be remember fucking Dave Smith, who died in fucking Afghanistan 3 weeks ago. That sort of thing.
You can visit their website at strangetimesshow.com. If you'd like to contact them, you can go to www.strangetimesshow.com/contact.
Hello, friends. Bill Haywatt here for Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers. After a hard day of announcing here at Studio P, there's nothing I like more than to come home to a refreshing interlude with my Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers. Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers are perfect for men and women who, like me, have a job that requires spending long hours on your feet or on your knees. Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers gently massage and stimulate even those hard-to-reach places, providing comfort and release to thighs, calves, ankles, buttocks, and crotchal areas, even as you eat. If you're like me, after an hour or two with Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers, you'll be raring to go and ready for more. And when you start your day with Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers, you're always sure to end it with a happy ending. Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers, made with pride by the same fine folks who brought you the functional breakaway trousers and the ever-so-stylish turtleneck slacks. And they're made with the same fabric that covers official U.S. government restraining tables the world over. Henderson's Massage-Pedic Trousers, available online and wherever fine pantaloons are sold. And now, back to more of Succotash.
All right, man, I am glad to see that the Henderson's folks are still sticking by their commitment to sponsor Succotash. Fantastic.
Thank you, Bill Haywatt. Thank you, Marc Hershon.
This episode of Succotash is sponsored in part by TrumPoetry.com, a chronological ode to a fake muse. Enjoy a rhyming spin on the news of the day every day, as well as over 500 archived daily verses thoroughly covering the White House, America, and the world with a sticky caramel coating that's impossible to remove. That's TRUMPoetry.com. Everything you need to know in rhyming couplets. TrumPoetry.com.
And I've made a selection from TrumPoetry.com this week. It's the entry from May 8th, 2020, number 257. A double shot of weariness and fear. As weeks drag on, the life we knew on pause. Conflicting truths regarding cure and cause, and no clear path to moving on from here. Projections from the CDC and WHO. Our leader wants to wish those words away, for economic models hold more sway. Get back to work. It's just a kind of flu. The dark statistics get marginalized. As push turns into shove, full steam ahead. Acceptable, the number of the dead. No mask for Trump. Is anyone surprised? Beyond the shape and spin we'll hear today, our thoughts and prayers go out to his valet.
Right? Right.
And our final selection is from Nooner Podcast on the Smodcast Network, the weekly live podcast from Kevin Smith's Smodcast Internet Radio that you can listen to by going to www.smodcast.com/sir. It's currently hosted by Marty Yu, Stephen Kruger, Cassandra Cardenas, and John Sylvain. This clip is from episode 191 from July 9th of 2019. Its description reads, today on a very special Nooner, the MERPs, that's MIRP, stands for Minor Internet Radio Personality. As far as I know, that term was coined by Nooner Podcast. They tried D&D for the first time. John Sylvain DMs, or Dungeon Masters, with 2 special guest stars joining the adventure. Don't worry, there is still the casual racism, odd profanities, frequent over-talking, and a couple current event references tossed in too. But then, there's the looming threat of the dreaded lich, and in the parentheses it tries out different pronunciations of that word, including lech, lick, and lek. Monster, it can include. So it says, the dreaded lich monster. I believe it's lich. Let us know what you think, it says. And gives the email, which I'll give it later. Roll the clip.
Well, in the center of this sort of circular room,
Uh-huh.
On the other side is a door.
Into a microphone.
Oh, yeah. And the other side is a door.
Cool.
And in the middle of the room is a raised dais or dais. I don't know how to... Adidas or Adidas or whatever the hell you say. And on it is a what looks like the statue of a sphinx. So it has the body of a lion and the head of a man.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
that's my fucking
not
jam.
where the poop comes out.
What?
Oh, sphincter.
What?
That's a sphinx.
What?
Oh.
Where does your poop come out? I'm confused by what you said.
Go on.
How does elephant anatomy work? That's a really good question.
So,
does anyone have an anti-dad joke spell? Cast one of those.
As you approach the Sphinx, which again looks like a statue, speaks and says, "You may not pass unless you answer my 3 riddles."
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
All right,
intelligent. So that's
sounds
cool.
good. What are you guys going to do?
We're gonna
What
answer
are
these
your riddles?
Yeah. Tell us the riddles.
The first riddle, are you ready? If
So
you don't
ready.
get it right,
Never
I will
readier.
kill you.
Oh, wait.
How many chances do we have?
Let's confer.
How many chances do you have?
Yeah.
I'll give you 3 chances for each riddle.
Oh, okay.
Guys.
So 9 chances total? Aggregate?
And then we all die,
If
or
you
just
need
some
more-
of us? or-
How will you kill us?
I will use my claws to tear you apart.
Wait, but you're just like a statue, right?
Yeah, it's still...
No.
Okay, so like, because I could break this statue with my hammer, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Should I try to do that first before we start answering these riddles, or should we just do
If you want to take me on in combat first and avoid the whole riddle thing, you certainly can try. Many have tried, but I am here and they're
Because,
not.
Fuck it. We'll just do the riddles and I'll take them on in combat after if I have to.
Let's do the riddle.
So what's
What is it that we love more than death? No, sorry. Screwed that one up.
Wow,
What is it?
nerd. I just blow vape smoke in your face.
Wow. What is it that we love more than life? Fear more than death. The rich want it, the poor have it. The miser spends it, and the spendthrift saves it.
Oh, could you say that one again?
What is it that we love more
Do I
than
have
life
a Google spell?
and fear more than death? The rich want it, the poor have it. The miser spends it, and the spendthrift saves it.
Is it time?
No, that's one guess.
No, assholes, I was talking to my friend.
No.
Do we have to answer in the form of a question?
No.
Oh, no Jeopardy rules? Oh, shit. Okay.
The rich want it.
I mean, what if we?
Poor have it.
I mean, the poor do have time. No,
well,
they
no,
don't.
they're working a lot.
The rich have
They're
time.
just not getting paid.
The poor, maybe the poor are satisfied. Like,
No, I don't think there's
Tax rate.
We fear
Low
more,
tax
we
rate.
fear
tax
more than
rate,
death.
but they do
Fear
have
more than
that.
death.
The poor have it, the rich want it.
What do you fear more than death?
Fear more than death.
All right, you guys can talk and have come
Public
up with.
speaking?
Not having abs?
well, I don't know. We fear more
Reddit
than death.
downvote.
Love more than life.
Love more than life.
I don't remember what you said after that.
This is a really hard riddle.
Fear
It's a
more
very
than
hard
death.
riddle. Okay, so...
What does a miser spend?
What's a miser?
Miser.
Somebody explain
Is that an acting technique?
to Cassandra what a miser is,
Miser
and
is
you'll
somebody
probably
who's-
come up with the answer.
Miser is someone who's greedy and
Yeah,
like, doesn't
who
like giving
doesn't
their
like
money
to
away.
spend any money.
They don't like to spend money. So what do they spend?
Spendthrift.
Yeah, what do they
Spendthrifts
spend? They
spend
spend-
lots
You know what a
of money.
spendthrift is?
What?
Somebody
Spendthrifts
who
spend lots of
save-
money.
Oh, yes. That's right.
So what does a spendthrift save?
Spendthrifts save.
Effort? Because you pay for services.
No, but we don't fear that more than.
What do you fear more than death?
Bad services.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
What do the rich want?
The poor have it?
Yeah, what do the poor have?
The poor.
What if you're really, really poor? Like you have really poor. What do you have?
Oh,
tent.
Nothing.
Now, recently, on May 12, 2020, the Gang at Nooner podcast had another Dungeons & Dragons episode that you can listen to on SoundCloud, on Stitcher, on Apple Podcasts, and wherever fine podcasts are purchased and eaten. During a regular show, I maintain a running Tumblr commentary that you can find by going to www.noonerpodcast.com. And you can reach out to Nooner Podcast at noonerpodcast@gmail.com. Congratulations, you made it to the end. Give yourself a booyah. Do people still say booyah? Have the millennials reappropriated it yet? Or perhaps the generation or two that came after them? How long does it take to make a cultural generation anyway? It's not important. It's a largely made-up idea anyway. Speaking of anyway, I hope you enjoyed these few ear morsels I had gathered for your listening experience. And if you do decide to listen to more of the shows I've selected for you, then I've done my job successfully. You can find the social media links to all these shows on the blog at www.succotashshow.com. Succotash is SUCCOTASH, and show is SHOW. So why not reach out to them and tell them what you think of their material? Tell them Succotash sent you. We'd appreciate it a great deal. After all, it's what we mean when we ask you to please pass the Succotash.
You've been listening to Succotash Shut-In, the Soundcast Stimulus Package, with your host, Tyson Saner. Brought to you by Henderson's Pants, TrumPoetry.com, and imagine your company's name right here. Find us on the web at SuccotashShow.com, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on iHeartRadio, on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on the Laughable app, and tattooed on your mother's rear end. You can hear us streaming and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Succotash Show. Email us at tyson@succotashshow.com or call into the Succotash Skype line at our toll call number 818-921-7212. That number again is 818-921-7212. You can also upload clips from your favorite Comedy Soundcast directly to us using our direct upload link at hightail.com/u/succotash. Production of Succotash is overseen by Joe Paulino through the auspices of Studio P. Sausalito, the home of the hit. Our hosts are Marc Hershon and Tyson Saner. Our musical director is Scott Carvey. Our booth assistant is still Kenny Durgis. And until next time, I'm your loyal booth announcer, Bill Haywatt, reminding you to please wash your hands and pass the Succotash. Goodbye. This has been a Succotash Patch production.